Hey everybody, it's Ron Bass with another edition of Soar High, Personal Development, your source for inspiration. Joining me today are two fine young men. This young man over here to my right is RSR Roxy.
RSR, baby.
That's it, man. He's an artist with our Soar High Records label, and he's joining us tonight to give us his insight into our subject, which you don't know what the subject is yet, but I'll be announcing it here in a second. And over here to my left, go left, young man, go left.
Say golden, honey boy.
Is Mr. Davin Hundley, our producer and
Hello, that's
of
me.
our
That's
podcast, and also of our Soar High Records company. So tonight, we're going to talk about something that's super important. How not to quit.
Man.
I like that. All right, here we go. This is a good topic. I like
And
it.
what is it that most people wind up doing?
Quitting.
In my-
Giving up. Giving up on something.
Yeah, clogging out. Saying I'm done.
Clogging out, I like that term.
Crashing
Clocking
out.
crashing out.
Crashing out.
So here's a little bit of what I think about what it's going to take to not to quit. I read this article or saw this video about, I don't know what it was, this young man said that he was on the verge of going bankrupt and his company wasn't going well, and he called his father. His father called him, young guy, and the old man says, how's it going? He said, not going too good, man. He said, I'm thinking about giving up. The old man said, no, man, you can't give up. I'll tell you what you do. Just stay in the game for one more day and see how that goes. So the young man thought about it. He says, all right, I'm going to give it one more day. And then at the end of that day, what did he do?
One more day.
One more day. And you get the idea. And eventually what happened was, not only did he not quit, but he built a very, very successful company. And just, they're back to how important it is to have mentorship. In that case, it was the dad.
Which that can still be your mentor.
Absolutely.
I would think.
My mother was my mentor for her whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Strong woman, smart, street savvy, business minded, honest, set the pace, never gave up, always worked hard, held the family together when nothing else was right. Everybody else was giving up. She didn't give up. So, having a mentor obviously is super critical. I like that little story though. The video was really great. I think I saw it on Facebook, maybe TikTok. So my next line here was to have a mentor. So back to that. I mean, it's like, it could be a good friend. It could be an employer. It could be a brother. It could be anybody. Somebody that you can sink your teeth into and respect and feel like that they're being sincere when they encourage you. Not somebody that's just
A blessing to your mentality.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Another thing I think that's super important is to stay on schedule. I know from my point of view, I keep a schedule every day. Now, sometimes you have to adjust. It's not perfect. Sometimes I might miss, like if I have my workout scheduled, I start late, I end early, I don't feel quite up to speed, but I'll still get at least some of the workout in.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I'm not going to just throw in my hat and say, oh, not today. Now, if you're injured, if you're sick, I had COVID a couple years ago. It was like, man, you can't work out. You're just so screwed up. You have no energy. You're lucky to get to the bathroom and back. I mean, it's that bad for some people. It's that bad for me.
Or if you go too hard that you're exhausted, like physically
You got to listen to your
exhausted.
body.
Yes.
I agree. But you can't use that as an excuse. either.
No, it shouldn't be used as an excuse.
And what do people usually do?
But just keep lifting your head,
Yeah, exactly.
You can't move your whole body how you used to. Just keep lifting your head.
I like it.
So you can get off that pillow.
I agree.
I like it. I like it.
What's the first goal of the day? Getting out of bed.
I like
That is
it.
the first goal of the day. If you can get out of bed, you've.
Well, I'm not a morning person. How about you?
I'm not either. As you can tell.
Hey, I'm an early bird.
Are you?
I'm an early bird.
Where did you get that from?
Getting warm a lot growing up.
Getting what?
Getting the warm a lot growing up, early bird.
No, I mean, was your mother like that? Your dad like that? Your brother like that?
Oh, yeah, both my parents like
Got up early.
get up early. They're not really the breakfast type, but they get up early.
So you got that habit from them.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The old saying, you become who you surround yourself with.
Yeah. Yep.
Close to
The
seven
apple don't
friends.
fall far from the tree.
You're close to 7 friends, or you most like. They say.
So the old saying also is to spend time with people that you most aspire to want to become like. If you want to be a successful artist, who should you hang out with? Successful artist. Successful
Me?
producer.
No, I'm playing.
Well, you're an artist and a producer. You're doing both. pretty interesting stuff what you're doing at Soar High Records. That's a whole other thing. Check it out, soarhighrecords.com. I know it's called soarhighentertainment.com. Yeah. And our Facebook page as well. So check it out, see what we're up to. Up to quite a bit of stuff.
Always.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a whole other story, and a whole other day, and a whole other podcast. I think it's important to keep your goals simple in the beginning. If you're not a goal setter, start. Write your goals down on the back of a business card. I've done this for a lot of years. And one goal should be financial. One goal should be like personal. Like maybe the first goal should be, hey, I want to make $50,000 this year. And that's your financial goal. Second goal should be, I want to build 10 pounds of muscle. I want to go to the gym every day and get stronger. So a personal goal and a financial goal. But keep them where they're not too low, but they're not too crazy, so that they're somewhat attainable.
And again, have this list of goals. Like every day, your first goal should be get out of bed. Let's go do something. Eat a good breakfast or lunch. For me, it's dinner. Eat a good dinner.
For me, it's lunch.
Exactly.
I
So
love coffee in the morning. I'm a coffee guy.
I'm a coffee guy too. So he's a caffeine guy. He's a caffeine guy.
We had to go ahead and order some Starbucks.
So let's talk about caffeine. We had a podcast recently about addictions. Caffeine is, it's a drug,
Yeah,
but it's not like the kind of drug that's going to ruin your life, like some drugs are, right? When I smoked years ago, the one way I quit smoking was to drink coffee.
Yep.
Every time I wanted to smoke a cigarette, what did I do?
Drink some coffee.
I was like that.
You're switching
Isn't that crazy?
You're switching the addictive aspect to something that you
Yes,
feel is.
but coffee's a lot better than cigarettes. So I made the switch, and man, thank God, because I'd probably be dead by now if I had to. Anything in the lungs besides air is just not good for you. I know everybody likes to smoke pot. That's cool. But listen, man, you should do edibles, because anything in your lungs that's smoked like that is going to leave residue. It's just not good for you. Okay. I'll get off that soapbox. Let's see. So, and now look, goal setting is really cool. After you get into the goal setting trip and you get better at it and you get some accomplishments, then I think you should set higher goals.
Yes.
I set some really crazy goals, but I also have some very down to earth goals.
Yes.
So I work two different parts of the spectrum,
Right.
and I work it every day.
You have to.
It's kind of crazy, but I've built myself into this over the years. I'm not saying that you guys should start off like that, especially if you're not goal setters and you've never done this before. But take a business card, and on the back of the card, a blank business card, on the back, write down those two goals, date them and sign them. Because when you sign it, it's like a document, it's like a legal document to yourself. And date it. Put 1 year in front of it. So like, I want to earn this much money by this date, and date it, and then sign it. Keep it in your billfold or wherever you put your your cards. And then every time you touch your billfold or your cards, guess what you'll do? You'll recite the goal. And guess what? This is interesting. It's a law of psychology that you become what you think about.
And what you write, what you say.
What you say, what you think, you become. You become who you surround yourself with, and you become what you think about. Those are two laws of psychology. I didn't make this up. These aren't theories. These are laws.
And
I know it sounds crazy, but everything I've ever accomplished, you're not going to believe this, I've written on the back of a business card.
I've talked to all of the artists, especially like Roxy recently, about, you have to have this confidence. You have to be humble. You have to have some humility, but you have to remember that when it comes to your craft, you are good in your own right. There's a bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish, but you have to know that you're a big fish in this small pond. You know what I mean?
Good point.
Like,
and then
you
someday,
have to have
guess what? You're going to be a big fish in a big pond.
Exactly. Then the little fish.
Nobody starts off
No.
successful.
No.
Nobody.
You have to work at it.
Speaking of music, I was mentioning the other night, I've been reading a lot of articles lately about successful entertainers of different genres. And almost every story is the same. They start off, they struggle, 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 they struggle. And then all of a sudden something happens. Like somebody hears something, that likes something, that sees something, that encourages something, that they get a break. I saw this show. Rodney Dangerfield was a great comedian way back in the day. And I'm trying to think, he gave somebody a break to be on the show. It might have been, who's the guy on SNL? Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
I think it was Eddie Murphy that gave him the break to be on his. He had a nightclub in New York City, and he gave the break to get on the stage with him, and then he never looked back after that. He got on SNL after that, and everything else just fell into place. Make a long story short, you can never give up. Back to the original, It's the thing that we're talking about tonight. And there's just one example after another, after another, after another of this stuff. It's just the way life is, man. If you get to success too quick, guess what? You're probably not going to be able to really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
It's true. You have to struggle, I think, to really appreciate your success
Exactly.
and to set the example for other people.
It's crazy because we just like one of the first things we recorded, and I say in this phrase, I said, "Look at how the mud covers up on you." It's crazy what pressure makes from diamonds. It's just like being underneath, and all this pressure amongst time makes something so beautiful.
I like it.
And
It's very insightful.
yeah, message.
I agree.
I bet your parents are real smart, successful people.
Yeah, they're very mentally understanding people. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. I wouldn't say like
to
geniuses
situations.
or anything like that, but I think they definitely know what they want out of life and they know how to get
I
it.
like it. Well, looks like you're cut from that cloth. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's good.
So back to the list. Staying cool, calm, and collected. I think that's another important way to learn not to quit. I know in jiu-jitsu, which I'm involved in jiu-jitsu, I have my own school, martial arts. It's something that you learn over the long course of time to stay calm in spite of danger.
Yep.
So when you are exposed to danger, you don't freak out.
Yep.
You may not like something, but you learn to stay calm. And when you fight, you're a whole lot better to fight calm than it is to fight when you just go crazy. Like when I fight these young guys and they don't have any skill level, they just go crazy. And you just got to wait the storm out. But eventually they're going to run out of steam, and then you're going to be able to capitalize. That's kind of how it works in that world. Well, you're a martial artist too. That's right. You're a taekwondo guy.
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, so you know the drill.
Mind over matter.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And I think that goes for like, excuse me, everything in life. Like, music today. One of the younger artists was in there recording, and he was having trouble because there was an echo. And it's an easy fix once you get in there and you know what you're doing. But say he were to go into a studio and that's just how they recorded. They had echo because that's how their main artist liked it, or the producer doesn't, necessarily know how to fix it. Being able to record being able to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable in a comforting environment, like down here, when you get into that new environment where you're super uncomfortable, you feel a lot better about it. You feel more confident about it. So,
Go ahead. I was going to say, even on another note, kind of along those lines, I know I was lifting weights and I went to this heavy weight and it was like, oh man. Then when I dropped down to a weight that wasn't quite as much, that normally would feel heavy, guess what?
wasn't that bad?
Didn't feel that.
Yeah, it's the exact same
Same kind of
thought
thing,
process.
isn't
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Crazy.
Yep.
He was unable to record, but I could do some recording because I was used to like recording anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Being
didn't
prepared.
have really nothing to record with usually, so it's like to have even an echo now, it was nothing. You know what I mean?
It's the same to be on a stage with 2 fans or 200 fans. You need to have the same energy and the same
energy,
confidence,
yeah.
no
I've
matter
heard
what.
you say that before
Yeah.
to the artists.
Yes, because it's true.
If
You know,
nobody's out there, should have the same energy.
out of those 1 or 2 fans, you never know who it could be. You don't know their background. You don't know who you're rapping to. You don't know who you're singing to. They could be the breakthrough that you were talking about. That one person that gives you a break.
I think if you stick at something long enough and you believe enough in yourself, you're gonna make it.
I agree.
You're gonna make it.
I agree with you.
The problem is back to the what we're talking about tonight is people give up,
Right.
and you can't do that.
I agree.
There's another old saying. I got all these old sayings. I would rather try.
Because you're old.
Yeah, I know, because I'm old. I would rather try and fail as do nothing and succeed.
I mean, you can still kick your ass though.
Oh, him? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would never mess with this man.
I would rather try and fail as do nothing and succeed. I mean, who cares if you fail at something? You pick yourself back up and keep going.
Yeah.
I failed so many times, but it doesn't matter. If you get some successes in there, eventually you're going to get better at everything.
And I mean, we've talked about it like, I not to toot my own horn, but I could
Toot
go
your
get
own horn.
whatever job I wanted to, 60, 70, 80, 100K a year,
Easily.
like with my degree. But I'd rather come here and work on something that may be tough to some people. It is tough. Not everyone can do this.
No, I don't know anybody that can do what you do.
But
He's really an amazing guy when it comes to this producing. And I'm not a musician. I'm not an artist. but I understand the business end of it. And then Davin, he's filled that void with his ability to run the company.
Well, thank you. I
and,
appreciate
and,
it.
and build the company. And so we're all going to enjoy the success together. We share our success with our artists and our
Yes.
producer. And I have the old saying, another old saying, if I'm rich, you're rich. If I'm poor, you're poor.
Yep.
We either sink or swim together.
Yep.
There ain't no in between.
No.
I don't demand it, but I would hope for loyalty and respect and vice versa. So if that's happening, everything's cool.
And
If
again,
that's not happening, things aren't so cool.
you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't want to work hard or you want to be disrespectful to people,
ain't
it's
gonna
not
fly
work
with
out.
us.
Yeah, it's not going to work out.
And it's really was really crazy to hear you talk about the jiu-jitsu thing and all that stuff. They say martial arts and the military go side by side.
Okay.
And one of the main things that they both teach is not giving up.
Not giving
Yep.
up.
Never quit. That's a taekwondo. That was one of our 10 commandments was never
You
quit.
never quit.
Yeah, you got to keep press the issue.
I always finish what I start.
Yeah,
I like it.
and that's how it should be. That's how it should
Super
be.
cool.
We're at 16 minutes, Ronnie. What do you think?
Wow. Well, I want you guys to give me some of your final thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up. And
All right, that's cool with me. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I just have not really much about the whole quitting thing, but I think where he got it at was on the head. Just build your bricks. Just like that guy, every day, make sure you're building your brick. Put one brick up a day.
Yeah, even if it's just one. Yeah.
And by the time the year comes around, maybe you'll have a wall. But just prepare for the wreckage.
It's a good analogy. I like that. Brick by brick.
Get you some insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's another thing. Another thing that helps people not give up is like, don't put all of your eggs in one basket
that's another.
by any means. I put my entire life into this music, but I have a plan B if need be. I went to school. I have a degree. If this were to not work out some way, somehow, I have a plan. Everybody should. You
Yeah.
should always be. You can never
You
be
should always have a
surprised.
contingency plan.
Yeah, you could. You
This
should
is
never
another
be
reason why I like to
surprised.
build a lot of different companies.
Yeah.
Not just. I don't want to be a one-trick pony.
No.
Same thing in martial arts. I have a particular submission that I use a lot in jiu-jitsu to finish my opponent. But if I only use that and I don't use anything else, they're going to get wise to me, and everybody's going to know that I do this particular thing, and they're going to study me before they fight me. And guess what?
Yeah.
It's going to be ineffective.
And it's the same thing for an artist.
Same
You
thing.
make the same song every time, or the same sounding song every time. Everybody's going to get bored
Yeah,
eventually.
you're gonna have a guy that's sitting there just training
Exactly.
training to defend this specific takedown or this specific procedure.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, man, dude, there's not even a way that I can make this happen. This guy's
Exactly.
only
Exactly.
protected for this one procedure. So it's good to be an all around versatile person with whatever you're dealing with.
Have a lot of tools in your arsenal.
Yep. So,
Water.
but
Water, my friend.
so to not give up, you need to set goals. You need to have some mentorship. Correct.
Probably a lot of mentorship.
Never be surprised.
Yeah, don't let things, when they go wrong, affect your decision to move forward with your goals. And I think people do that all the time. It's, that's too hard. I'm so unhappy now. I'm so sad. My girlfriend left me. I can't continue. Come on, man.
You serious though?
And that
Just keep going.
I'll run
Figure
off
it
of
out.
that. I'll
Yeah,
run
go
off of
ahead.
that. Never let someone tell you that you can't do something or disrespect you so much that you want to quit. You know what I'm saying?
I like
Like,
it.
for example, you're playing a sport in high school and the coach tells you that you're not good enough to play or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I'm still going to work hard enough, as hard as I can, to make you realize that I can play and that I can work out on this team. You know what I'm saying? Just an overall experience. Don't let people tell you who you are. You should know yourself. I think that's a big deal of not giving up.
I like it.
You have to know where you're at.
And on top of that, these guys
And on
gave you
top
some
of that-
really good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm just going to put in something that I use to feed my mentality. Because a lot of this stuff is just comes from mentality, strong mind. I read. Do some reading. Do some researches of, whatever you're doing in life. And just do a little bit of focusing, meditating, and timing yourself. Just feed your spirit, feed your mind, and you should be okay.
Sometimes you got to think a little bit deeper. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Being something like poor, that's a mindset. That's not, something you're born into or, these are mindsets.
I was talking about that today with somebody. They asked me what the middle class is now, and I was like, well, if you go off of a strict number, the poverty line is at 60,000 with inflation, somewhere around there.
Right?
But low class, middle class, high class are not defined by how much money you have or you make. It's how you live your life. You know, I come in and I drive a fairly nice car. I have nice clothes, but that doesn't mean that I can go out and just get whatever I would like. I don't live a high class life. I live very with my means.
But along those lines, being a little more conservative than what you're saying, a guy can really get by with a lot less than he's spending already.
I agree.
I've learned particularly over the years when I've had ups and downs, to get by, and you can get by with a lot less expense if you want to. But what happens, people, they just, I can't live like that. That's below beneath me. No, it's not. You do what you got to do to survive.
Exactly.
I have three things that I think about every day. Either I'm in a survival mode, a power mode, or an advanced mode.
Yep.
It depends on just how aggressive and how ambitious you are every day. Everybody goes through different things every day. And I think about those three things, whether it's sport, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's personal development. Am I at par? Am I surviving? Or am I advancing? And a lot of factors are in. What if you're sick? It's hard to advance when you don't have the energy.
I agree.
But when you're fit and you're well rested and you feel good about yourself, is that a time to move forward?
You're ready to go.
Ready to go.
I agree with you.
Right?
I agree.
Okay, well, we probably bored everybody enough out there today, right? So just remember, if you don't give up, the stars will always line up. So until next time, stay
Stay
positive.